Tomorrow, we're going to get news that shifts the whole stock market. Be ready and beware. With that being said, we're going to be talking about everything you guys need to know about the stock market, prices to look at, and just what to expect overall for tomorrow and for the rest of the day. We still have around 6 hours left of the market, but I like to give you guys updates at least 30 minutes after the market opens. We did just get some recent data, and it did come lower than it was before and lowest since it's been for a while. With that being said, we did have some green with the PMI data coming out early, but then once it fully came out, we started getting red and then just started selling off even more. And overall, we did break some key levels. So the green marks and the red marks are kind of levels that I was looking at. The green ones I was looking at to get into a call option if it continued upwards. The red ones for put option. And as you guys seen, I got to my put option, got my 10%, and I sold at around this white level right here. And they even broke this level too to know that it's going down even lower. With that being said, some other levels, we might bounce back up and then break these levels upwards. You can probably play some call options off that 555.6 and that 556.7. So keep that in mind. But with that being said, we're going to talk about some news and everything that you guys need to know about the overall stock market. So let's get started. So some stocks are in the red, some stocks are in the green. We did have Tesla with a big move upwards, but then we are kind of falling a little bit with Tesla right now. So we are getting some more bad things about Tesla. So Rome, Tesla dealership, fire destroys 17 cars after a global protest movement. So we are getting more protests and we are getting some more downside news with Tesla. We're going to be talking about it a little bit later. We did just get a downgrade for AMD stock. So keep AMD on your mind for the downside. Especially right now, we're down almost 2%, but NVIDIA is doing a little bit worse, but NVIDIA is the bigger dog basically. But OpenAI must convert to a for-profit entity by December 31st, or funding may be slashed by $10 billion. So keep that in mind for OpenAI. OpenAI is a great company, but they're also their demand basically is getting a little bit higher and they're cutting some things off for now, but they do have a deal that we're going to be talking about a little bit later when we get to the browser. But should you buy, hold, or sell NVIDIA stock on its plans to acquire Lepton AI? So they do have plans to acquire Lepton AI, and it's a server rental startup specializing in NVIDIA powered AI chips. And according to the information, NVIDIA is nearing a deal to acquire a 2-year-old Lepton AI for several $100 million, and they raised an $11 million seed round in 2023 from investors. And this might be a good thing and or a bad thing for NVIDIA, but keep this in mind because NVIDIA is kind of dying down right now, especially if you see the overall chart of it coming up. We're overall bullish, but now we're kind of bearish. But Amazon is launching a new website and SDK to expand access to Nova AI models. So Amazon's doing a little bit more with AI. You might see Amazon to the upside. I did kind of see it earlier to the upside. I don't know how it's doing now, but it did look pretty green at the start of the day. And then now we're kind of just dying down with that data. It's kind of moving with SPY a little bit, not really, but it was moving up in a bullish trend, hit that 190 level, bounce off that 190.1. So keep that in mind, or 191, sorry. But I would look at that level a little bit later, that 190 level a little bit later. And then some bearish levels to look at is that 187. And then a little bit lower, I will be looking at the lows from yesterday, which is 184. So keep these levels on your mind to a call and a put. You could probably play it both ways. But yeah. And another thing is, with Alphabet, Roblox launches a rewarded ad program. So Roblox is it's still a big game. It's kind of like Minecraft or something, like it's a well-known game. Probably everybody knows what Roblox is. But with that being said, people still play it to this day. And with the rewarded ad program, it's going to pay creators basically. And Alphabet is just going to benefit off of this, especially with their browser and stuff like that, kind of losing more interest, with TikTok replacing it. You got ChatGPT replacing it. They're just going to bring in a new ad, basically more ad revenue for Google overall, just bringing up their revenue. So some of the most active stocks, you got NVIDIA, you got Ford. Ford's up 3%, which is insane. You got Tesla moving, you got Palantir, you got Lucid Group. This one's kind of new. I haven't seen this on the list in a while, but we're at 4%, and the stock is only $2. You can maybe make some short-term plays and or just hold it for the long term. But we got Tesla stock falls amid investor concerns over Trump tariffs and Elon Musk government ties. So we did get some, I don't know how true it is, but Elon Musk might get out of the government to kind of lock into Tesla a little bit more. So that might bring up the stock a little bit more and stop the haters basically, but we never really know. It's not confirmed yet, but that might be something that brings up this stock. But Tesla is falling a decent amount. I am pretty hyped to see it at that 250. I think it's at that 250 now, or it's at that 262, but we hit that 250 the other day. So I'm pretty pumped to see where Tesla really goes. I'm hoping it drops a little bit more just so I can, build out my long term a little bit more with Tesla. But yeah, Rocket CEO discussed 11 billion spree and impact on Trump tariffs and housing. So the tariffs is affecting the housing, but housing is kind of getting to like a pretty low. I mean, you can basically get houses at a discount right now. I personally recommend if you guys aren't into it right now and you guys got some extra money, invest in some housing right now, and that price would spike probably very, very soon. But housing is kind of dropping right now, and it's just kind of like a discount for a lot of people. But if you're trying to sell a house right now, it's not a great time. So be very, very careful because Liberation Day is literally tomorrow, and that's the big news that will move the stock market. I'm hoping that we get a little bit of I mean, honestly, either way, you could play a play, call, or a put, depending on how it goes. But I think people are just overhyping what the tariffs are going to be looking like. I think we got some news today that it's really just going to be 20%, but people were saying 25%. But the 20% across the board tariff is basically like kind of like a little bit better, but I mean it's better than the 25% tariff that everybody was saying. But I think if people are overhyping it right now, we might see the markets kind of get a buy. But don't listen to me fully. I really just want to see how market really reacts to it before I say anything. But yeah, but OpenAI disables video generation basically, and I kind of included this just because of the capacity challenges. Morgan Stanley says tariff may put footwear and apparel imports in a tight spot. So keep if you guys are investing in Nike, I think Nike just died down a lot, and some other stocks like that related. You can see a very, very good buying opportunity, honestly. Don't think tariffs are going to be here forever, but I mean, I think we'll get to a point where the market is just going to adjust to the tariffs and then we'll go back up to a bullish site. So, like I said before, 20% tariffs. It was 25 before. The best case scenario for Trump's Liberation Day is still a hard sell. So keep that in mind because the markets might go down even in the best case scenario. Somebody kind of just estimated everything with charts and just how everything is looking. And the best case scenario still looks like a sell off for the market, which is honestly okay. Like I said before, I think we're just going to adjust to the tariffs and then the market, once it adjusts fully, we're going to see the market back green. So don't be too scared. Spain sales of new Teslas rise in March and fall in first quarter. So March, we are seeing a little bit more sales, especially with the new Model Y. And a lot of people are waiting for the Model Y. And especially with the new tariffs and stuff like that, you might even see more sales overseas right now, just because like even dealerships are hitting you up saying, hey, before the tariffs hit, you can come buy a car. So basically, this is how the stock markets has been looking or it's not stock markets, but overall markets has been looking. The Dow, the SPY, and the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has fell more. The SPY is kind of in the middle, and the Dow is at the top, but we have been dying down a decent amount. As you guys can see, NASDAQ is kind of doing the worst, especially with this you see this little comeback kind of. NASDAQ kind of almost made a comeback, but then it just kind of consolidated a little bit. You got SPY kind of making a little comeback, but we're kind of hitting those lows a little bit more. And the Dow has been doing decent. I mean, a little bit of a comeback, but we might see it go down even more with the tariffs. Gold has been doing pretty decent. I have a kind of a swing trade. I can show you guys a little picture, a little screenshot, but I made around 25% on one trade and then 12% on another trade that I made recently. And I'm probably going to sell it today just to get out before the tariffs. I mean, even if the market sells out, it's just like a little security thing. Like I could make more money, but then I could lose my gains. So I'm just gonna get out now, not be too greedy. And yeah, but gold is at a new high. Best quarter since 1986, which is insane. But with that being said, we do got some news. So the market remains volatile due to Trump's new tariff policies, which have shaken investors' confidence and pushed NASDAQ and SPY lower in quarter one. Fear and greed index remains at an extreme fear zone, signaling negative sentiment among investors. AI stocks, particularly Semtech, surged 13% due to high data center demand, which is insane to think about, but Nvidia is still moving pretty low. So some of the biggest losers, we got Johnson & Johnson down 4%, Boeing down 2%, Caterpillar down 1%. Biggest gainers, Walmart has been doing pretty decent, 0.8% increase, United Health 0.24, and then McDonald's 0.19, but they're doing pretty good if you guys want to get into some good long plays. Sectors to watch. So tech stocks are kind of mixed. Semtech is rallying, like I said before, while other AI names are struggling, like Nvidia, Palantir. With that being said, I think Nvidia and Palantir are at great levels to buy for a long term. Defense stocks, so consumer staples like Walmart, McDonald's, and healthcare, are holding up despite market turmoil. Biotech stocks remain under pressure, with regulatory risk adding uncertainty. Potential plays for today. So short term trades, you got Semtech riding a strong data center growth. That one's just growing a lot. Gold, like I said before, these are great plays, and a lot of people are buying into gold and they're just breaking highs every single day. So I do recommend getting into that. GLD is a great one to look at. Defensive stocks, so Walmart, United Health, McDonald's holding up well in the current market. Risky, but potential rewarding. So tech stocks, some oversold names could see a bounce if sentiment improves. So if you see sentiment improve, like we've seen yesterday, like Nvidia went from 103 to 108. That was a decent improvement basically. And high volatility small caps. So with extreme fear in the market, some penny stocks could see sharp moves. But that's just risky plays that I recommend kind of looking at. But just going at your own risk, you know. With that being said, some insane news. We got US must be ready for a 2027 Chinese invasion of Taiwan. This can bring down markets, of course, but just keep this one in mind. I don't know if this is true, but I just seen this and thought it was interesting to show you guys. So yesterday we seen a lot of market on close buy imbalance for pension buying was the highest on record, and that was literally right before market closed. We got EV maker Lucid is capturing Tesla buyers at a higher rate as its new Gravity SUV its showrooms. So Lucid and also BYD are kind of overtaking Nvidia, or not Nvidia, sorry, goddamn Tesla. So Amazon takes the lead at the top Magnificent Seven stock for the next 3 months, and some other stocks were taken in and out. Tariff tend to bring growth down and inflation up. OpenAI has closed a new capital raise of $40 billion at a $300 billion valuation. This makes it the largest private tech funding round in history. So market focus on tariff announcements, but U.S. employment data also was kind of key. But keep in mind, like I said before, the tariff announcements are going to be key. So this is some sector impact from potential policy changes. So it's just how everything's going to work with tariffs, immigration, and just everything like that. You guys can screenshot this chart. This is kind of helpful to know what to really invest in as certain news comes out. And this is just to help you guys out a little bit more. Xpeng, March delivery surge 268%, shares rise 6%. So keep Xpeng on your radar. The ticker is XPEV. Gold hits fresh record. Like I said before, gold is doing great. Tesla car sales in France, Sweden drop at this lowest first quarter in 4 years. So there's some more bearish news for Tesla. So this is something on the side too. Elon Musk says that the U.S. government deleted a terabyte of financial data to cover their crimes, which is insane. But they don't understand technology, so we recovered it, which is insane. Nasdaq's 100's worst quarter in years, sealed by AI bubble fee. Tesla sales in Netherlands fall almost 50% in quarter one. We're just seeing a lot of sales fall. I just want to show you guys this. The combined net worth of the wealthiest people, the 0.1%, has grown by 4.4 trillion in the past 2 years, which is insane. That's more than the bottom 50%. But I really want to show you guys this because as this goes up, the stock market liquidity is going to go up too. Because I mean, the wealthiest people, they're going to be investing in stocks. So I mean, I kind of just thought this chart kind of showed how much liquidity we really are going to have in the stock market, and that's why every single year we go up. But with that being said, I already showed you guys some price levels for SPY. So keep these ones on your mind, on your radar. We are kind of making a little bit of a comeback from this bottom of 553.6 and kind of 554. But see how it retests that if we go back down, because we might just fight between this range and or we might come back to this range and kind of fight this range again, and or we might reach new highs or the highs of 558.5. But keep these levels on your mind. These are some good buy and sell levels and some buy and put levels. 550.8 is a key level to look at because if we fall below this, we might even go down even lower. So keep these levels on your mind and on your radar for SPY. Apple, I think Apple, we might be going down a little bit more, but we are kind of rebounding a lot. With that being said, look at that 221.4 level, and if we break below that and then have an actual break, and especially if it breaks below VWAP, we might even come back down to the 219 level. But to the upside, I do want to look at that 223.3, and if we break above that, we might even get to 224 and 224.5. Tesla, we got a lot of bearish and bullish news with Tesla overall, but I would look at it at the highs of watch 266.4 and then 2668, and if we break above that, we can look at 271.16. If we break above that 270 overall, probably gonna be bullish, or we might be able to get up to that 275 to that 280. Maybe we make some better plays. With that being said, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. We're gonna be looking at some more levels tomorrow. I really just want to see how the tariffs are gonna react, and we can get some more levels, support some resistance, and some better plays for you guys. But honestly, tomorrow, man, when market opens, just follow where it goes. Wait 5 to 10 minutes, and then just look for a constant trend. And yeah, guys, peace out.